Hello friends, hope you're doing all right. Today I want to look at a new tool called Kortex. It's been developed by Dan Koh and I am testing it as of right now. You can see it on the left side. And the idea here is I'm honestly considering to switch to Kortex for my content production. And the question I'm asking myself is, do I make the switch or do I stick to Workflowy? And the idea is the following. So Kortex is geared towards content production. It's a tool created by a content creator, Dan Koh, quite known, and he has developed his own second brain system. So the question now is, does this tool have new features, like the bullet preview we're going to talk about in a second, that make the switch worthwhile? Or is it possible for me to recreate the features and systems of Kortex within Workflowy so I can stick to the tool, to Workflowy, where my second brain is currently built in? This is the main question, and the feature we're going to look at today is called Bullet Preview. And you've already seen that when I opened up all of these, I see the context, but I have to click it in order to see what's below. This is a little bit different. The bullet preview in Kortex is done in a way where the message is below, but once I collapse the bullet, let's call it for this element, it moves up. So I see that this is the big idea, which is a custom type, but I also see that the preview is being pulled upwards. And now imagine that here I would see this here, right? And it would hop below as well. So there's like nothing lost, nothing gained, there's no hurt, there's nothing. And I can pretty much decide if I want to do that or not. So I'm advocating for the bullet preview, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. The other option we do have is to add it this way, right? So we do have the option in Workflowy to manually add context. However, you'll see how I run into problems in a little bit. And yeah, maybe let's create the case where I wanted to look at. It's called Digital Mind. This is my digital mind, where I wanted to create, let me get a bit smaller over here, where I wanted to create something of, this new post. So it's called Why You Must Own Your Name in the Digital Age. I'm currently working on my own course called Naming. And the big idea is you can only profit from your name if you own it. And if I wanted to create this kind of element, this atomic idea within Workflowy, it would look like this: problem, goal, example, benefits, process, concept. And I simply used the template that I've created, almost like a Zettel custom-like element, following this content creation structure called core notes. But that's an idea for another video. And I recreated the same idea. If you don't own your name, someone else will. But you see how this is actually better, because I see my big idea here, but the problem I see here already. This is better for me to grasp all of the contents of the atomic idea if I'm able to preview them directly. So of course I could copy this in here, right? But then you'll see that I'll run into other problems, and I'll show you this by the template idea number 2. So instead of having it this way, I mean, of course I could simply do this, right? Actually, we're getting towards something maybe. So I do have a goal and I can have sub elements in here. However, I thought this may be not enough. I feel like it's better to structure it properly, because there's certain elements below. And then I thought, okay, what if I would create every element with a hashtag? And this brings us to the second element of this. I'm jumping a little bit, but I hope you're bearing with me, to the second idea of the custom bullet types. So you see here, the big idea is a custom bullet type. That means that I can actually decide if I want to add another big idea, another concept, another example, another goal, which are elements of the core note, right? Of the core idea on how to produce good content. And I can simply create a new one, right? A new element in this tool where I say, okay, this is an example. And I profit from it again. So in here, I wanted to do the same, to copy this kind of system by adding the hashtags and then possibly being able to filter with the hashtags. However, I saw a couple of problems. One was that if I would simply copy my idea from V1, what was the main idea? Or let's say like the problem. If you don't own your domain name or your name, someone else will, which is a proper problem. However, maybe I want to expand on the problem. Maybe I want to have more than one. So I'd have to frame it below, and then I wouldn't be able to see the problems below unless I, just cleaning this up, unless I add the hashtag problem in there as well. So you see how this is not ideal. Nevertheless, I feel I'm kind of able to reproduce it. And maybe it's a bit of an in-between thing where I use this version in here, illustrate the problem in V1 the same way we did it with the goal. If you don't own your domain name, someone else will. And then I add like problem in here. But you see how this is a bit, how to say, maybe I add the hashtag automatically as well. So this is a good thing when I talk to you guys. I have good ideas while doing the thing. So maybe I simply, to template number 1, add big idea and add problem. And that way I'm able to have the idea, add to it, but then expand the idea using the bullets below. And then I'd get the main idea at the top. I'm not sure if I don't even know what this is exactly, how this differentiates from the big idea, or if it kind of copies it. And I hope at some point maybe we'll reach the search notes or smart bullets, as someone recently mentioned it in Slack. And then I can pull in all of the goals and maybe get them to be used somewhere else and pretty much recreate this tool. But nevertheless, to kind of wrap it up in here, is the preview feature, bullet preview feature, where the first bullet below, right, is moving upwards, is an amazing thing. I really like that idea, and maybe there's something to it. I love that we have something like context in Workflowy, but there's something to this that I can't describe that I really appreciate. It's just efficiency. And the second element, having custom bullets and almost like having this hashtag called problem or whatever it was in here. It was in number 2, to kind of make all of them become this type. You see how there's an icon, which I really appreciate, to have like some visual indicator. And it's just better to have it as a custom bullet rather than just a hashtag. And if I'd be able to create or to kind of like contextualize the bullet or make it a certain type, a taxonomy maybe, then I feel this would be able to make Workflowy even better. I mean, it would be a bit more Tana-like in that regard, but you can see how this is just way easier to grasp and just more fun to really, create content in. So I haven't fully decided in here, but at least I'm able to have a combination by this and the hashtag version. So we'll see how we get from here. Yeah, that's it. A bit of reflection live, and let me know your thoughts. what kind of preferences you have, if you would go with V1 or V2, or if you like my new hybrid using the hashtag in here. And yeah, that's it for now. See you in the next one.